over. So
right. I don't know
take
where.
a while. So while that is cooking down, I'm going to throw this back in my fridge.
I don't know how that bully bird. I thought they all flew south, but look, he's there. Bothering me. We're watching Edie.
And in my half and half is where I'll
making some broccoli cheddar soup
to thicken the soup.
But I'm annoyed.
That's it.
That the bully bird is here. But at least she's not chasing away the other birds.
I'm going to put my
I spoke too soon.
Cup of heavy cream.
All right, I went out and filled my feeders. So now I have all my little birdies out there now, feasting. They're not going to starve. Well, good afternoon. Today is Saturday, November 2nd. And we have birthdays today because today is Connie Hulse, Huls. Connie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Connie. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Kelly West. Kelly's birthday today. She told me yesterday, but I had it in my calendar already, but I'm glad she reminded me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kelly. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Margaret Robinson. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Margaret. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Robin Volpicelli. 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 Robin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robin. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And Nick, who is Carrie over at Weight Watchers with Carrie. Nick is her son. Today's Nick's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nick. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope all 5 of you have a great birthday today. Danny and Brooke are coming over sometime. They were going to come up. They were originally going to come at noon because I was supposed to bring Mary to bring her dog to. She doesn't want to, but she was going to put her dog down today. And so I told Danny, I said, well, if you come at noon, I got to leave by 2 because I got to bring Mary to the vet. And so he says, well, I'll just come later at night. I come at 5 or 6. And I said, okay, that would probably work out better. But then Mary called me, like I was just getting ready to leave. And Mary called. She says, I can't do it yet. She says, and she seems to be doing better today. And I said, well, Mary, I'm wondering if I don't know if anybody has ever noticed this with a loved one that has passed, that has been sick. I know, like with my mother and my father, that like they have like a day or 2 before they actually passed, they were like, it was like a miracle. It was like they were like their old self. They were back being normal, not normal, but you know what I mean. And it was like there was nothing going on or anything like that. And then a couple of days later, they're gone. So I said to Mary, I said, maybe this is just Brandy's last little burst of energy. She says, well, I'm going to enjoy it as long as I can. So I can understand. I really can. But I don't know. I don't want the dog to suffer either. It's kind of I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard decision to make. And so I'm not going to pressure her one way or the other. So whatever she decides. So I said, well, when you do decide, just let me know. I'd already put a sheet in the back of my car because her dog sheds like you would not believe. I brought her dog to the vet one time. Well, I brought her more than one time, but I brought her one time without putting anything on my back seat. I couldn't believe how much hair was in that car. I was like, and I have like Jim has, not me, because he's more meticulous about keeping his car clean, his truck clean actually. But and it took me, I would say, a good, just for the back seat, because that's the only place the dog was in the back seat. I think it took 45 minutes before I got all the hair up. I mean, I know it wasn't the strongest vacuum you've ever had, but it was like there was hair everywhere. So ever since then, I always put a sheet down to kind of cover up the back seat, and then I can just throw the sheet in the washing machine afterwards. So I already put the sheet and everything. I had the back seat all ready, and no, she's decided not to do it. So I went, okay. And then Aaron's uncle passed away, and so Christy went to the funeral this morning. She said it was a very small funeral. I think that people are getting away from having the luncheons afterwards, because I said, well, where did you go for lunch? And she says, oh, they didn't do that. Which I understand, and I kind of somewhat understand that, you get together and you share stories about everything that happened with that particular person that had passed. But as the person that's lost it, I always thought, why are these people sitting around laughing? And, it's another one, catch-22, another one of those things where it's nice to share the memories, but I don't know if that you're really ready for them just yet. right after the funeral. It was just, what was the strangest one was Jim's father when he passed. Was it his father? Yeah, because his dad passed before his mom. How did that go? Oh yeah, when Jim's father passed, where the church was and where the graveyard was. Jim's parents lived after they retired, and that they moved to the other side of the city. If you're familiar with Detroit, you either live on the east side or the west side, and we live on the east side. And so they moved to the western part of. They didn't live in Detroit though; they lived in Ypsilanti, but they lived in the western part of the city. And but well, you don't even know because you don't know the area. But anyway, it was like if you were at like point A. I don't know how I'm going to say this. How can I say this? Well, anyway, okay, I'll use it like your house as an example, but picture it way bigger than it is. Suppose you live in a ranch and the bedrooms are on the far end of the house and the kitchen is at the other end of the house. And then you live with the next door neighbor. I'm going to make this very confusing for you because that's just what I do. Anyway, so let's say that the funeral is in the bedroom, but the wake is in the cemetery. No. Okay. I got it now. It took me a minute, but I got it now. The funeral's in the bedroom. You're going to go all the way to the kitchen to have the funeral. But then you got to go all the way back to the bedroom to go for the luncheon, because that's where the luncheon was. But supposedly, let's say, instead of living in the kitchen, you live next door. Are you really going to come all the way back to the bedroom just to get a lunch, to go past the cemetery to get to your house? So what happened was we had the funeral. We went to the church, to the cemetery, and then from the cemetery, rather than people going back to the original place where the funeral luncheon was, they continued on home, and we had so much food left over. It was just so much. So when Jim's mother passed, which made it to me strange, is when Jim's mother passed, she was still living in the same place, and they remembered from when Jim's father passed that we had so much food left over. So what they did was we had the funeral, and then immediately after the funeral, we went into the church hall, and had the luncheon. So like people were sad from the funeral, went to the luncheon, and they were happy. Not happy, but you know what I mean. Sharing happy stories. Then they got back in their cars and went to the grave where they were sad again. And it was just a weird day. And the weirdest part was that Jim's mother was still in the hearse outside the hall. It was different. It was just really different. So how I got on that subject is beyond me. Let me think. Oh, talking about being sad and all that. I don't know if that's it, but anyway, I know that confusing, but you know what? If you follow me in a while, you know, sometimes we go from point A to point D and we skip by B and C altogether. And then as you saw at the beginning of the video, I watched my videos of my collab with Edie, Joan, and Kim with our soups, and oh my gosh, I wish Jim liked soup. Jim is not a soup eater, and the soups that I made froze up well, and it took me a month. I did one soup a week, which Joan had told us plenty of time, so we had plenty of time to do our soups. So like Jim will eat the soup the day I make it, and he'll either like it or he won't like it, but he will not eat it again. And so I'll usually have it for lunch the next day. I'll have a bowl of soup, but then I have so much soup left over because usually they give you most of the recipes do like 8 or 9 servings. So I've used like 3 servings, so still I got 5 left. So I've got 20 servings of soup in my freezer. So, but I saw every one of them. My favorite from Joan was her jalapeno pepper soup was my favorite from her. The chicken and broccoli and potato cheddar soup from Edie was my favorite. And the chicken pot pie from Kim was my favorite. And all three of them had chicken in it. So that kind of tells you something about, I like chicken. We eat a lot of chicken here. So I definitely want to try the recipes. I'm just trying to, I don't know. I mean, I probably could cut them in half, but then sometimes I wonder, is it really going to work in half? And I could, if I do decide to make a soup and Jim will eat it for dinner, that won't be his favorite dinner. But then my thinking is, like when I was growing up, we had two choices: take it or leave it. Those are the two choices. You either liked it or you didn't like it, but you ate it or you didn't like it. So there was many a meal growing up that I ate because it was take it or leave it. And so I think that was one of the reasons why on Saturdays when my kids were growing up, I would make them whatever they wanted for breakfast. Because I didn't cook on the weekends. Fridays we always had just something like a tuna fish sandwich or tuna casserole or macaroni and cheese. And then Saturdays I'd get up and make them whatever they wanted for breakfast. And then they could make whatever they wanted. Obviously when they were too little to cook, I cooked them something. But when my kids learned from a very early age how to cook. And then on Sundays we always went to my mother's house for dinner, for Sunday dinner. Well, Sunday dinner was at 1 o'clock. So I guess that would be supper. Is that what they call it? But anyway. So go check out the recipes in that, because I know how well my house smelled, and while they were making their things, I'm thinking I can only imagine how good that house smells right now, because that's anything you cook, you always have that nice smell in your house. That's why I'd like to have a lot of home cooked meals. But all right, well, I'm gonna hopefully find out the sex of the baby today. I'm gonna not close out the video just yet, because I'll try to get Brooke and Danny on video, and then hopefully I'll have some news for you. But if not, I'll at least show you them. Show you how big, not how big, but how big the baby's getting inside Brooke, I guess. Is that the way to put it? Is that a nice way of saying it? Anyway, and then I was a little annoyed that the bully bird was back. Only one bully. I don't know what the name of the bird is. It's a big black bird with little red tips on its wing. I know it's probably a red tip blackbird or something easy name like that. But they bully my little baby birds, and they're not baby birds; they're just little tiny little sparrows. But they bother them, and it annoys me. So, okay, that's it. That's it for now. Well, yeah, I'm done confusing you for now. What about my light? Oh, they don't come on yet. I got them on an automatic timer.
What time?
6:45. I got to change them. But there they are. There's my new grandbaby in there. And Brooke. Brooke came along with her. There we go. And then Oliver swiping a donut. Well, unfortunately, I can't share the sex of the baby with you until tomorrow because I was sworn to secrecy until they've told everybody else. So, tune in tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.